Thank you, everybody. I am Topher Keene, and I was born on March 31st, an hour and a half before April Fool's Day, which is why I'm always this close to being funny. It's the best joke you're gonna get all night, I'm sorry. Someone very important to me once told me, don't do it unless you're gonna do it. And at a Catholic comedy festival, that means I'm opening with dad jokes. So, I'm sorry, my wife likes to say, the rules are the rules, and the rules are that a dad needs to tell dad jokes. And if you've seen my wife, we are due with our first at the end of February. Thank you very much. So many men in the room here are probably experts at dad jokes. The problem is that often their plan is a little bit off. So they got a 3-stage plan. Step 1, find a wife. Already some problems. Step 2, have a baby. Now, we're all Catholics in the room. That is the correct order for those two things. I'm not arguing with that order. Step 3, learn all the dad jokes. That's where my problem is. If you have ever had a very pregnant wife or a newborn baby or many babies, you know there's not a lot of time to be learning dad jokes. You gotta get that work in early. So I spent a few decades collecting my best dad jokes and learning the art of the dad joke, because when you know the dad jokes ahead of time, you can focus on the wife and the baby, and you also build up your groan tolerance a little bit earlier. It's kind of an important skill. It is a muscle you can grow. I was reading an article the other day. It was actually a doctoral thesis in English linguistics explaining why dad jokes are extremely important to language development for children. And you may know this if you know anything about the English language. It's a weird language. There are some words that are spelled the same, but mean different things, like wind and wind, or dove and dove. And there are words that sound the same, but mean different things. There, your and your, two and two. There are many words like this in the English language, and in fact, dad jokes often point out these little puns and weird idiosyncrasies so your children can learn them. In fact, dad jokes can also be used to learn the alphabet. So this is the participatory part of the night. You must participate. I will count down from 3, 2, 1. You'll know the answer, trust me. What is a pirate's favorite letter? 3, 2, 1. R. You think it be R, but his first love be the sea. Now what I learned, thank you, I'll take the applause, I appreciate it, thank you. What I've learned from reading that dissertation is that some men will spend 5 years getting an advanced degree in English linguistics in order to prove to their wife and children that they're actually funny. Now this is not my first time on stage. My first time on stage, I was 6 years old, and I was Hansel in Hansel and Gretel. And if you know anything about theater, if your character's name is in the title, it's kind of a big deal. So my teacher looked me down, along with everyone else in the class, and said, here's the rules. The rules are, you must know all of your lines by the week before the show, or you will lose your part to someone else. And I took that to heart. The rules are the rules. I sat down and I wrote my flashcards. I worked it out with Mom. I was practicing my lines. And I walked in the first rehearsal, and I knew every line. I mean, there were like 10 of them, but I knew every line. And no one else did. And that's okay, because it was the first rehearsal. And we went along, and we got to the dress rehearsal. We're working through, and Gretel does not know her lines. And this is extremely unprofessional. So I walked backstage, the cafeteria hallway, and spoke to my teacher and said, excuse me, but I was told that if you don't know your lines, you lose your part, and Gretel doesn't know her lines. You have to remove her part. I'm 6 years old at this point. That's why I'm looking up. My teacher's not taller than 6 foot tall. She says, Christopher, you gotta be nice to our friends here. We're all trying our best, so we're just going to be very nice and we're going to help. Go back out, we try the scene again, and one of the moms says, you know what, I have an idea. We're gonna get a big poster board, and we're gonna take a Sharpie, and we're gonna write all the words on there, and we'll just hold it up like cue cards right in the front row, and we'll have all our lines right there, and if you forget, you can just look at the cue cards. And you will notice there are no cue cards in this front row of the audience right now. This is not how professional performance works. I've already lost it with the teacher, so I walk over to Gretel and I say, excuse me, you know what the rules are. You don't know your lines. Get off the stage. Give the part to someone else who knows it. So the teacher calls my mom. Says, you will not believe what Christopher did today. She probably wanted to take my part away, but no one else knew Hansel's lines, so I had the part. My mom gets on with me and says, Christopher, explain yourself. And I said, well, Mom, it's not fair. She didn't know the lines, and they supposed to take the part away, and they did these cue cards, and now they're going to think I don't know my lines because they can't tell that I'm not looking at the cue cards, and it's not fair. It's not professional. My mom said, okay, Christopher, fine. Got back on the phone with the teacher and said, sounds like she doesn't know her lines. I had a great mom. I have a great mom, and my wife is also a great mom already. Our baby is due in 2 months, but she's been a wonderful mom to our baby in the womb the entire time. And right now she's entering that nesting phase at the final trimester. One day I came home to the bedroom and found out that in the next month before delivery, we will be completely repainting our bedroom because it's absolutely the wrong color, completely unacceptable for a child. Understandable. I have come home several times to find every article of clothing we own spread out across the bedroom, being folded in a particular Marie Kondo sort of way. Understandable. And I was sitting on the couch one day and she awoke me to the joys of cloth diapering. Now, I had never heard of cloth diapering before, but I was sold immediately. You mean I don't need these giant bags full of disposable dirty diapers to haul out to the dumpster every day? Like, I'm sold. One day she looks to me and says, Topher, I found this amazing deal. On Facebook Marketplace, $25, an entire set of used cloth diapers, dozens of them. Now I'm looking around, I see some nods in the audience. That's a good deal. Yes, I'm told by the mother, $25, full set. Good deal, yeah? And I say, honey, I'm happy for you, but I don't really feel comfortable spending money on something someone else has pooped in. And she says, Topher, we've gotten all of these used baby clothes from our friends and family. You realize all of those have been pooped in. Fair. However, I did not spend money on those clothes. And those were gifted to me. Now, weird to gift something that someone has pooped in, particularly weird to gift something that you haven't pooped in, that somebody else pooped in. Weirder to buy something that somebody has pooped in. So I just say, look, I can't justify, I can't spend money on something that someone else intentionally pooped in. I mean, accidental. I mean, you go to Goodwill, you pick up a pair of pants, you don't know where they've been. You hope for the best, but this is intentional poop. And so I said, honey, imagine that our toilet broke. It shattered into a million pieces. Do you want me going to Home Depot and buying a nice new toilet? Or do you want me to go on Facebook Marketplace and buy some guy's used toilet and bring it into our house? Yeah, the guys are not along with me. I'm right, I win. And she says, Topher, you bought this house last year and you didn't replace the toilets. You know they were used when we purchased the house. Fair. My wife is smarter than me. Most likely because she was raised Catholic. She is the youngest of 4. Dad's a Catholic deacon. I was not raised in the church. There are some real advantages to having a Catholic deacon in the family. Don't know if any of you do. Show of hands, anyone got a deacon in the family? Beautiful, wonderful. He actually officiated our wedding ceremony, which was wonderful. It was a really beautiful ceremony. And he came to the house to bless the new family. And some of you may know this, some of you may not. I certainly didn't. That deacons can take any regular water and turn it into holy water. Unlimited access to free holy water. Wonderful benefit. Way better than most father-in-laws. Dude can just provide any holy water I need, any of my needs. And so he turns to his wife, my mother-in-law, and says, give me some water, Jean, and I'll bless the home. I'll bless the doors. And she hands him a glass, and he starts the blessing, and he looks down and goes, Jean, what are you doing? She handed him a full glass of water. And he says, Jean, the rules are the rules. You can't just throw away holy water. Once it's holy, you got to use it. Now, I wish he'd thrown it in some of those used toilets in my house, but instead, he chose to bless the entire house. He blessed the doors, he blessed the windows, he blessed the stairs, blessed everything in the house, including our 4 cats. And if you have ever doubted the power of holy water, you can ask a priest to come by your house and bless some holy water and bless your 4 cats right in the face. And you will believe in the power of demonic possession. I bought the ring as soon as I knew that it was time to be with this woman for the rest of my life. My father-in-law lives in Chicago, so I knew I wanted to go see him and ask him formally for his blessing on the marriage before I proposed. So I had a little time, and I had a little time to have some fun with the proposal situation. And as you do, you are coming to see each other, and she opens the door, and you get down on one knee, and you look at her and say, my beautiful, darling Emily, can you help me untie my shoes? I'm really tired today. And you say, let's go out to a beautiful dinner. Let's go out and have a wonderful night tonight. She says, let's go have a wonderful night tonight. I say, yeah, let's have a wonderful night. And she buys a new dress, and she does her hair, and she does her nails. And we go to a baseball game with some of my good friends. And no, I don't propose on the Jumbotron. I don't believe in that. That is heretical. That would require the holy water. We come home and she says, Topher, I got my nails done. We can't do this anymore. New rule. You tell me sometime in the future, you tell me to get my nails done. And when you do, 7 days later, there's a ring on this finger. Nails have an expiration date. If you tell me there's a ring or there's a problem. I say, okay, fair, sounds fair. So I take a few months and I plan everything out and I call her best friend from Chicago who plans to fly out for the proposal and surprise her. I got everything planned out and I say to her one night, Emily, paint your nails. She goes, paint my nails? And I say, the rules are the rules, paint your nails. 7 days later, the exact end of the deadline, I take her out. We're driving in the car and she says, Topher, where are we going? I said, don't worry about it. I'm taking random exits just so she has no clue where we're going. We get off and eventually end up at the restaurant where we had our very first date. Beautiful place to be. And actually we went back there for our anniversary this year and they remembered us. We got the same waitress who we had for our proposal. It was amazing. They said, oh my God, and we were the only ones who've ever proposed in that restaurant. So it was a special memory for them. So we get there and we sit down and I see that her best friend is there hiding behind the menu, waiting and getting her phone ready. The video was terrible. It was absolutely useless, but she tried and it was nice. And I sit at the dinner table and we order food and it comes out and the waitress walks away and swallow and I get ready for it. And I think back to Hansel and I have all my lines prepared. I'm ready. I know my lines. I know what I'm gonna say. There's some stage fright, a little more than that first time, but I'm ready. And I stand up and I walk around and I get down on one knee and I look her right in the eye and I think I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with this beautiful woman. I am so lucky. And I finally found the woman I want to be the mother of my children. And I look in her eyes, and I take her hand, and I take a breath, and I say, nothing. Because she's glaring daggers in my eyes and says, don't do it unless you're gonna do it. Thank you very much, everybody. We are now, thank you, I appreciate it, thank you so much. We have a lot of great comedy for you tonight.